So welcome everybody to this welcome meeting. There are so many of you that I think we don't know where to put you, where to find an office for all of you. But it's nice to have so many young students now here. So today, for the first time, we present, we make a welcome meeting together with all the PhD programs that are based on in this department. So I think it's a nice occasion. And there are 4 PhD programs based on this department, and there are also other PhD programs which are not based here, but have students that are here. So the presentation of today will have a welcome address by the department chair, Professor Stefano Tuboro, followed by another address by the department manager, Fabio Conti, and then we will give an overview of the PhD program and what it means to be a PhD student here at DEIB. And then we will have some short presentation regarding the specific programs and some indications for, operative indications for you all. So I will leave the floor now to Professor Stefano Tubaro, who's the department chair.
Okay, good afternoon to all of you. It is a great pleasure for me and for the entire department to have you starting your PhD program here at our department. Just a few words about the organization of our university, of the Polytechnic of Milano. Our university is organized in a little different way with respect to the large part of the university in Italy and also the university abroad Italy. In the sense that we have separated structures for that regards teaching and research. As far as teaching is concerned, the university is organized in a set of schools, mainly 4 schools, that the one to which belong is the School of Industrial and Information Engineering, and then therefore the School on Architecture, the School on Design, and the School on Environmental and Civil Engineering. And inside each school, there are a set of study programs for the bachelor and the master program. Then there is a separate school for the PhD programs, independently for the fact that they belong to engineering or architecture. And then there are 12 departments that are the structures that are involved in the research activities. There are 9 departments related to the engineering part. There are 1 department related to, 2 departments related to architectural studies and architectural research, and a department that is related to the design part of our university. We are the largest department in the Politecnico, and we have a long history in the sense that our department in some way start just a few years after the foundation of the Politecnico di Milano in 1886, and it has reached its actual configuration in 2013. And we are currently the Department of Electronics, Information, and Bioengineering. As I said, we are the largest department in the Politecnico, and therefore we are spread in a number of different buildings. The large part of them are concentrated in the Leonardo campus, where we are, but we have also some buildings in the remote campus of the university, for example, in Lecco and Cremona, and we have also a space station in a small village not so far from Milano. At this moment, the DEIB community is composed by more than 1,000 people, and roughly speaking, half of them are PhD students, are you and your colleagues. 1/4 is composed by the faculty and the technical and administrative staff, and the other 1/4 is composed by research assistant, what is in Italian is normally called at this moment assegnisti di ricerca. And we are organized in 6 main research areas that are listed in this slide, and specifically system and controls, bioengineering, electrical engineering, electronics, computer science and engineering, and at last but not least, telecommunications. And each of you are in one of these specific areas. And here is some slides that goes a little bit in details in each area, indicating the main topic, the main research topic that have addressed by each of these research line, and there is also some indication on the dimension of each section. And it is clearly evident that not all the research areas or sections, as we sometimes call the research areas, are of the same dimension. But in any case, each of these research areas cover a very specific area. And then in each research areas, in each section, there are a set of labs that are works on very specific topic. Here is a list of all the labs that are active at our department in this moment. I do not read each of them because I don't able to read all the names, and there are a very large number. And at the Politecnico, there are also a set of what they are called interdepartmental labs, that are labs that are constituted by people that belong to different departments. And as our department, we participate to a number of these interdepartmental labs. And obviously, we have a lot of relationships with external entities that are mainly companies and industry in Italy, but also abroad. Here is a partial list of these entities with which we collaborate, and we also have a participation in a specific research center that is called CEFRIAL. Just the last words, the Politecnico has established a set of strong collaboration with a set of companies and industry, and this relationship are normally called, in the language of the Politecnico, as joint research centers. And here is a partial list of these joint research centers in which our department is directly involved. And then we have also a set of other collaboration with companies, and here is some list of them. I think that this is a very short and fast presentation of our department and of the places where you will work in the next 3 years. I am sure that you will have a very exciting experience in these years. And my best wishes for a very brilliant career here in the Politecnico and then in the future, or still in the Politecnico or elsewhere. Okay, I return the floor to... Okay, I give the floor to Fabio.
Okay, hello everybody. First of all, let me say that it's a great pleasure for me to meet you this evening. After 2 years of meeting online, finally we are in presence, and this is wonderful for us, also for the speaker of a meeting in presence. I am the manager of the department. I am in charge of the financial and administrative aspect of the department. I'm also responsible for the administrative and technical staff that works in our department. Last but not least, I'm also responsible for the safety of the personnel inside the building of our department. In the next 10 minutes, I will try to give some information about the administrative structure of the department. In particular, we will see the organization chart of the department, some numbers expressed in euros about the research value, essential for us, especially because we have a lot of project and research activity financed by third parties. Also, we will see we will have a focus on European projects. And first step at DEIB, just to survive for the first weeks at DEIB. And also some few tips and support for international PhD students, and also research and digital libraries. This is the organization chart of the department. We can say that we have an organization like a company, even if we are not a company, we are a public institution. So as you can see from this slide, we have the department manager, and then we have some services in staff to the manager of department and also to the chair of department. And then we have several services, several units that are focused on some themes related to the organization of department. This is the same slide in Italian, so the first one is in English and this is in Italian. And then we have the details about the organization chart. So as I told before, these are the unit in staff to department manager. We have a communication and public engagement, a unit related to staff and executive assistant, a unit related to safety, and also academic staff. The academic staff is a person that works for the research area, because as told before by the chair of the department, we are divided in a research area inside the department. These are the units that are focused on themes related to department. So we have an administrative and financial unit. You will find the name of the person. This information you will find also on the website of the department. And the person underlined on the single unit is the person in charge of the responsibility of the single unit. Then we have a unit related to research and corporate, is the unit that is in charge to manage projects and contract. A teaching support unit that is in charge to support the professor and the researcher for teaching activities. Also, we have services for recruitment. In particular, we have the PhD secretariat inside this unit, and also a unit that manages the term researcher contract. We have a kind of term research called assegni di ricerca that is a temporary contract for a young researcher. We also have a supplies and facility unit divided by different buildings because we are located in different buildings, all in Leonardo campus. And also we have ICT services for all concerned support for ICT services related to your activities inside the department. Finally, we have an organization related to research labs, and we have technical staff dedicated to some research laboratories. Now, some numbers about our research. As you can see from this slide, we have a lot of collaboration with companies, and we make research contract with companies, and also we have a lot of finance project also by European Commission and national institution, and also national public institution that finance our research. This is a slide related to DEIB revenues of 2020, and we have reached about 23 million euros divided into research activities collaboration with the industry, that is about 9 million euros. Also research activities with the academic institution and research centers, about 5 million euros. Research with the European project, we are very active in research with the European Commission, and also other activities, minor activities related to laboratory tests and consulting services, and also some contracts for learning, teaching, training activities that we make in collaboration with the company that contact us to make training activities for their dependent. This is the same slide, but it is related to last year, 2021. We have the best values if we consider the previous year. So we reached 27 million euros of income, also related to research activities with industry and the European Commission and other academic institution and research center. This is a slide, and you can see how these revenues from 2018 to 2021, and as you can see, the revenues is higher and is increasing during these last 4 years. So we are involved in several projects, and especially we have a lot of projects related to European Commission. These are the numbers related to the last framework program, Horizon 2020. As you can see, this kind of framework program finished last year, and these are the final result of the framework program financed by the European Commission. Now we are going to start a new framework program that is called Horizon Europe. So this kind of project we have managed in the last 7 years. And we have 129 funded projects, 26 as coordinator, 94 as partner, and 9 as third party. We have a success rate in Horizon 2020 projects about 19%. That is a very important and successful rate for a total funding of 51 million euros. Inside this 129 funded project, we have financed 18 Marie Curie projects, 6 as coordinator and 12 as partner. There is also the detail about the kind of project of Marie Curie: 12 as innovative training networks, 3 as individual fellowship, and 3 as research and innovation staff exchange. This kind of project is specific to finance PhD students that especially arise from outside of Italy. And also we have a 4-year project that is a very important project financed by the European Commission, is the European Research Council that finances specific project, individual specific project. This is a very important project, and total funding for this project is 4 million euros financed at our department. We received 4 ERC project in the last framework program, Horizon 2020. These are the main research fields related to European project. So we are involved in the 129 project, and these are the fields, the main research fields in which we are involved during this project of the framework program Horizon 2020. As you can see, the principal research field in which we are involved is obviously in ICT, but we are also involved in health, transport, big data, and energy, and the other. Now let's see the first step at DEIB, what you have to do to to start your life inside our department. First of all, you have to collect your official badge and get security access. The person in charge of this is Fausto Berton. You can find him at the building 20, that is this one where we are now, ground floor, office, and so on, the other information. This is the badge that you will receive in these days, and this badge is very important to access to all the buildings and all the structure of our department dislocated inside the campus Leonardo. You have also to introduce yourself to the doctoral secretariats. You have to define the start activities, get initial information on the PhD program, get information about courses, and also get information regarding usage of the personal budget, etc. The person in charge of the different PhD secretariat is the following one. So for PhD DADS, Mauro Bandini; for PhD in Information Technology, Francesca Clemenza; PhD Step Change, Alessandro Martinelli; and PhD in Bioengineering, Marco Simonini. So you have to contact this person for the first step at DEIB. You will receive several information needed to go on with your life and your first step inside the department. You also have to introduce yourself to the research area secretariats. As you can see, we have 6 research areas inside our department. So we have bioengineering, computer science and engineering, electronics, electrical engineering, system and control, and telecommunication. Here you can find the person in charge of the single research area, and you can contact this person to get information on desk, office location, facility, administrative issues, travel expenses, purchases, reimbursement, and also academic support. So these are the person on which you can find information for this kind of services and information related to your life inside the department. The department has also an IT support and information technology support that offers the following services: so network access, electronic mail, web, remote access, FTP software, VPN, wireless connection, plug socket activation, and hosting. To access to these services and get references for technical support, you can check the page with all the information to contact the ICT technical staff that will support you for these services. A few tips for each type of activity that you will have inside the Politecnico. There are regulations that you can find on the Polyme website. Also other regulation on the PhD school website and the department website, and we also have an intranet. So this kind of information and also regulation is inside this website. We have different websites. You can find here all the reference of this website, and you can check inside the site about the regulation. Be sure to check the regulation, ask always to the area secretariats for information if you have doubts, and also ask to PhD secretariats. So you can find information in PhD secretariats and also in the area of your reference, research area reference and secretariats. If you need to claim a reimbursement for travel and mission, here you can find the regulation. Always contact the research area secretariats of reference, as told in the previous slide. If you need to buy a computer equipment, you will find at this link the regulation, and also you can contact PhD course secretariats or an email, a functional email related to purchase office. If you need to register for a conference, you can find here the regulation and also other information about the documents that needed to register for a conference. You can always contact the PhD course secretariats and the research area secretariats. There is also 2 persons in charge in the administrative office that are Elisabeth Ivanov and Sara Galimberti for registration to the conference in which you will be involved during your period at DEIB. The department also offers support for international PhD students concerning visa issues, permit of stay application, health insurance, university residence. The person in charge of this is Alessandro Martinelli, that is over there. And you can also contact by email using the email phd.deib@polyme.it. Finally, we have also Polyme Digital Library. Here's the link. You can also access directly single papers, and you have free access to the most paper in our areas. Here are other information. You can have to choose the organizational authentication with one of these organizations. If you have any doubt, please make reference to the Secretariat of PhD, and you will have all the answer to your request. I finished, so I wish all the best for you and this period in Politecnico and at DEIB.
I'm one of the PhD coordinators here. I coordinate the PhD in Information Technology. My name is Luigi Piroddi. We thought that it was perhaps a good idea to give you first some common elements of all the PhD programs, and then a short specific presentation given by each coordinator. So here's what we will be talking about in the next 15 minutes. So the DEIB PhD community. What is your path to obtain a PhD? What are the goals? What are your student activities? What is the role of the advisor and tutor? Some research ethics and code of conduct, how to fill in the study plan, how evaluation and grades are given, and something about teaching activities. Okay? So all the information that I will give you now is general for all PhDs. So the first thing to note is that the number of PhD students is very large is very large compared to the dimension of this department. So the professors and researchers in this department are around 200 something, and the PhDs are 500. So this means that you are actually the backbone of this department, and all that we do here, research and teaching, is based largely on the work of PhD students. Okay, so it's we place a lot of value in the PhD programs for this reason. The normal PhD path is a 3-year course, and so during these 3 years you have to develop your research, do some publishing, maybe also start doing some teaching in the graduate courses, and of course you have to participate to PhD courses and summer schools, and we also encourage experiences abroad. During the 3 years period, you will be evaluated periodically at the end of each year to be admitted to the next year. Okay, so one thing that you need to do is to check the regulations of your PhD programs, the educational rules, in order to find information about the courses, your duties, the requirements to pass the year, the deadlines, and so on. What are the goals of the PhD? Well, of course, the first goal is to receive advanced education. So in this sense, you will follow courses, PhD courses, seminars, summer schools, workshops, and my suggestion is that you catch every opportunity you get to expand your scientific knowledge and your skill set while you have the opportunity in these 3 years. Afterwards, when you enter the job market, and it's much more difficult to follow courses and to have the time to pursue education objectives. Okay, so besides this, of course, we want to develop in you a research-oriented mindset. So you will need to develop expertise and skills in a research topic of your choice. It is important that you develop original research. And what we typically suggest is that you choose one general topic, but with ambitious objectives so that it can justify a project length of 3 years and more, and analyze the topic in depth and develop original solution. Okay, so the outcome of this activity will be a PhD thesis, which you will start to write down probably only in the 3rd year, but using all the results that you will have developed by that time. And during the 3 years, it's also suggested that you make an experience abroad, or maybe more than one experience abroad, and we will try to facilitate this for you. One important part of doing research is the dissemination part, so you have to publish your results. Why is this so important? Well, of course, in order for research to be valuable, it has to be known. So you have to make your work known, and you can do this by publishing in journals or participating to international conferences. Okay? And also, the quality of the research is based on the principle of the peer review process. So every publication that we made is subject to a review by, it's called a peer review because other professors, anonymous professors, read our papers and decide if they are correct and if they're valuable. Okay? So this is actually the basis of how research works. So publication is an essential part of it. Also, by participating at conferences, you will acquire the ability to present and discuss your work within the research community. Remember that you are both students because in the end you will earn a degree, but at the same time you're also what we call an early stage researcher. So this is the first step towards a research-oriented qualification and job. So besides research, you will have to follow courses, PhD courses in particular, and all PhD courses at Politecnico are taught in English, and you will have to obtain a certain amount of credits. The amount of credits is different for each PhD program, but the minimum is that you have to get at least 10 credits from the school, the PhD school of the Politecnico, which provides courses related to transversal skills or soft skills, and another 10 credits have to be from your personal PhD course. Then there will be also other rules related to this, but you will have to wait for the specific presentations for each PhD course. A PhD level course consists at least of 25 hours and has an exam, okay? There are also other courses that you may follow, for example, language courses as extracurricular activities, and also you can follow master courses as well. They don't count in your study plan, but if you think that they are useful for your PhD path, then why not? Another activity that you will possibly do is teaching in master courses, typically master or undergraduate courses. This is also, I think, a very important activity because it's the first time that you learn to speak towards a large audience, and it requires some preparation and some skill to do that. So I think it's an important part of the PhD path. So you will relate to mainly two figures in the during the PhD, and these are the advisor, or sometimes called the supervisor, who is your reference for research purposes. Is the person with which you agree a project and who follows you directly during the research. Okay. The advisor is not necessarily a member of the faculty board of the PhD program, and may also belong to a different institution and may be supported by other co-supervisors. And then there is another person who is the tutor or first co-supervisor, who is actually a person of the faculty board and who is in charge of controlling that your PhD is going correctly, is working correctly, okay? So this is the person to refer to if something goes wrong during your PhD. If, for example, something goes wrong with the advisor or anything goes amiss, then the person to talk to besides your advisor is the tutor, okay? And besides the tutor, there's always the coordinator of your PhD program. So if something is wrong, these are the people to contact. So one of the first things that we will have to do is you have to fill a study plan, okay? So the study plan is the list of courses that you state that you want to follow and pass according to the rules of your PhD program. You have to negotiate your study plan with both your advisor and tutor, and if they are okay with your proposal, then you have to submit on the online services your study plan. There's an app on the online services. And then you have to get approval from the coordinator, or in the case of the PhD in information technology, which has 4 sub-areas, you have to refer to the vice coordinator of that particular area you're working in. And the coordinator or the area vice coordinator is the one who approves formally your study plan. There will be deadlines for filling in your study plan, but this doesn't mean that you cannot change it afterwards. So you can change it at any time. The only thing that you must remember to do is to get it approved again every time you changed it. And in the first year, you are suggested to fill in at least 15 credits, maybe 15 to 25 credits. And we also suggest students to complete their requirements in terms of courses by the end of the second year, so that you have the third year completely left for the thesis, okay? Besides that, so you have some requirements that tell you that you have to get 25, maybe 30 credits, depending on the program. My suggestion is that you don't limit yourself to the required credits, and you use all the opportunities that you get to expand your scientific knowledge by going also to other universities to follow courses, maybe also abroad, follow summer schools, winter schools. These are always very useful experiences, and the PhD is the only moment where you can do that. So be sure to take all the advantages that the PhD course gives you. Here's a slide that shows you where to find the application, where to fill in your study plan. There's no need to comment on this now. You will get the slides afterwards, and you can look at it easily. Okay, so one other comment maybe. What you see in the educational rules of your PhD program is the educational offer of that particular year. So, for example, in the educational rules that are now accessible, you can see the courses that are offered in this academic year. This doesn't mean that the next year the courses offered will be the same. Actually, they will be all different. Okay, so every year we have a different offer of courses. Okay, so you don't need to select all your courses from the courses that are offered this year necessarily. Some courses are offered periodically, though, so you will find them again maybe with a periodicity of 2 or 3 years. The PhD school courses have sort of a different process. The enrollment in a PhD school course must be approved by the PhD school, and you have to refer to their secretariat for every detail. Okay, and currently, for example, if you look for PhD school courses, you will find them all blocked, so you cannot actually enroll in them. You will be notified when they can be selected. And when they are open, the suggestion is to fill them in quickly, because when they get full, they have a certain number of students that can follow a specific course, then they close again. Okay? As I said, you can also add master level courses, but they do not concur to the compulsory credits. If you want to follow an external course, or a course that is not inside the proposal that your PhD program provides, then you can, of course. You have to enter in the study plan a specific name, which is called external courses with evaluation. That is for all external courses or summer and winter schools. And for each of these courses, you will have to get approval by your tutor and the coordinator, so who has to know which type of external course you will be following. Again, let me stress the fact that in order for a PhD course to be considered as in the study plan, it has to be at least of 25 hours and with an exam. If those conditions are not met, you can work out some complementary activities with your coordinator. Okay, you can agree upon some complementary activities in order to get the course approved. Yeah, another thing that you will have to do shortly, I think by April, is that you have to fill in the system the thesis title and abstract. Of course, at the point that you are now, you don't have any clue about that, or maybe you have some clue, but you're not probably in the position to make to provide this information clearly. Okay, so but in the next few months you will have to clear up your ideas in order to be able to do that. Okay, by April. Some short comments on the evaluations that you will be subject to at the end of each year. So first, obviously the PhD courses are evaluated and they have different policies. So for example, PhD IT and PhD DADS courses have a pass-fail evaluation, whereas the courses provided by the PhD in bioengineering and step change are graded in a A to E scale. Is that so? Yes. Yeah, okay. And also PhD school courses are graded from A to E, while master courses are graded from 18 to 30, okay? So in 30s. Annual evaluation are also, they are based on the credits that you get each year and on the achieved research results. And again, you will receive a grade in an A to E scale. And finally, the admission to the final exam, it will be based on your overall PhD path and research achievements. And again, you will be evaluated with an A to E scale. When you get to the final exam, you will earn a diploma, which possibly can be with cum laude. Okay. I don't know if you are aware of that, but for personal or health reason, you can request a suspension of the PhD, or in some case, you can obtain an extension of the PhD if, for example, you need to complete your work and you need some additional months. So you can check the rules for both suspension and extension. We allow also teaching activities. We think that teaching is an important part of building a research and a research-oriented profile. But of course, teaching mustn't conflict with your main activity, which is research, okay, and following courses. So typically, we authorize up to 40 hours of teaching every year. Further teaching activities may be authorized by the faculty board or your coordinator. In addition to your scholarship, you are allowed a budget for research activities for an amount which is typically no less than 10% of the amount of the scholarship itself. And I think from the 38th cycle, this personal budget is in the order of the 5,000 euros, which is a large amount actually. But it's not really so large if you think that it has to last for 3 years, and that if you plan to do an experience abroad, that is costly, okay? So save it for going to conferences, going to summer schools, and buying essential personal equipment, and most of all, save it for experiences abroad. Some guidelines regarding purchases. So the personal budget is for research purposes. So, for example, I found orders like for cleaning material, that is not allowed, okay? And it's a personal budget, so it is for your personal use. So it is not for the maintenance or renovation of the laboratory you are working in, okay? So You're not supposed to buy laboratory equipment that stays there after your PhD. That's for someone else to buy. So your personal budget is for your usage only. Remember also that any inventory material that you buy, for example, if you buy a laptop or a tablet, is a property of the PhD program that you are in. So after the end of your PhD program, you will have to return it to the PhD program to be given to other PhD students. Okay. Thesis submission, how does it work? So at the end of the third year, your PhD career is evaluated by a local committee. And if this committee gives a positive evaluation of your work, the faculty board will appoint 2 external reviewers. These reviewers will receive a copy of your thesis. Actually, you will be personally sending the thesis to those reviewers. And in something like a month, they will have to give their review. They can provide the following assessment. They can say that based on what they have read, the PhD is awardable cum laude, or simply awardable without laude, or an extension period is required in order to complete the work which requires substantial modification. This is very rare, let me say. So typically, the first 2 outcomes are what we get. In case of a positive evaluation, the PhD candidate is admitted to the public defense of the thesis, and he has to go before a committee, which is made mainly by people that are not from Politecnico, and he has to defend his PhD thesis. So as I said before, period abroad is suggested, typically around from 3 to 6 months abroad are suggested. If you have a Polimi scholarship, you can qualify for a 50% stipend increase for a maximum of 6 months. And also you may want to know that stays of at least 3 months in Europe qualify for the Doctors Europeo certification, which is an additional to your degree. There are also various support programs that you can ask for financial support in order to have financial support for these periods abroad. Okay, and there are also double degree programs that you can access. Some words about research ethics and code of conduct. So you're expected to have to keep a responsible conduct in this working environment. Also, it is very important that you adopt strict ethics in your research. So your research work must be original. And if you use results by other people, you have to acknowledge that very carefully. Okay, so that is very important. And theses are checked with anti-plagiarism software. Typically, the coordinator does that, or the area vice coordinators. And this is a very important issue, especially abroad. So if you think that your thesis is going to be reviewed by external reviewers, it is very important that you have strict standards on anti-plagiarism. Okay, so I think I've ended my presentation, and now I will start the presentations of the specific PhD programs. I will start with mine, then DADS will follow, then afterwards step change, and then bioengineering. Okay? How many of you are from IT, PhD IT? Okay, that's a lot. DADS should be fewer. Are there any? 1, 2, 3. Okay, step change. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and and the coordinator, of course. And bioengineering group. something like a dozen, maybe more. Okay, very nice. Okay, so PhD in information technology is probably the more complex PhD program that we have here because it is structured as in four research areas: computer science and engineering, electronics, system and control, and telecommunications. Typically, you belong to one of these areas and you don't have many interactions with the other areas. But I think it is important to know what happens in all the DEIB because many of the research that is done here is also related to other researches in other areas that are still in the DEIB. So you may find very useful interactions between other groups if you look for them. So these are informations related to the four different curricula, but they are reported also in the educational rules, so I won't comment on this now. These are the persons to have in mind regarding the PhD IT. So besides me, who I am the coordinator, your first reference will be the area vice coordinators. So there's one for electronics, Angelo Geraci, one for computer science and engineering, Professor Francesco Amigoni. The vice coordinator for the system and control area is Professor Lorenzo Maria Fagiano, who was here before. I don't know if he's still here. Yeah. Non vedo più. Okay. And the telecommunication vice coordinator is Professor Riva, Carlo Giuseppe Riva. I don't know if the student delegates are present. Riccardo Busetto and Alessandro Milozzi. Okay. Maybe they are connected online. I don't know. But you will get news from them soon enough because they are very active. So these are your reference for internal issues that you may want to discuss. The staff dedicated to you in the Secretariat is Francesca Clemenza, and also for the administrative support, Mauro Bandini. Here are all the emails that you may need to contact all these people. Okay. This is the faculty board. There are 27 people in the faculty board. All these are tutors, so when you want to select a tutor, it has to be from this list. Okay? The advisor doesn't have to be in the faculty board, but the tutor has to be. Okay? Some deadlines. I think these are more or less general, but I'm sure about the PhD IT deadlines. So you start now, November 2, 2022. The first thing that you have to do is the choice of tutor and advisor, and you have to fill in the study plan by the end of the year. Then by April 30, you have to provide the short description of your research and a photo of yourself. And then your next deadline is almost at the end of the year in September, where you have to provide the report for your first year activities. And then finally, you will be evaluated from mid-September to mid-October 2023. Okay? In the second year, you don't have particular deadlines apart from the final report and the evaluation, which has the same timeline as in the first year. In the third year, the deadlines are more than 2 because of the procedure for the delivery of the PhD thesis. But everything starts again at the end, at September. At the beginning of September, you have to provide your final report and a proposal of external reviewers agreed with your advisor. Then you will be evaluated, and if admitted to the final exam, then you will have to send your thesis to the reviewers, and then in January or February 2026, the defense will take place. This is a list of courses that are offered this year that you will find to be selectable for your study plan. Again, you find this information in the system, in the online services, and in the regulations, in the educational rules. So there's no need to comment upon this now. The only thing I want to stress again is that these are the courses offered this year. Next year, there will be other ones. Okay, so if you don't find anything that you like here, probably you won't have 5 courses that you like in this list. So there's no need to choose 5 from the start, because you will have opportunities in the second year. These, of course, are the courses for the computer science and engineering area. These are also a short list of courses provided by the PhD schools. You see that they are related to transversal skills. So, for example, they are related to project management or research skills or communication or English for academic communications and things like that. Yeah, I don't think these details are useful now. Okay, there are some specific rules that we apply in the evaluation process at the end of each year, but I think it's early to comment on that, and maybe we will also change them during the year, so there's no need to comment a lot on these. So the only thing I want to say about this slide is that we have rules for the minimum requirements to get an A in the annual evaluation, so to get the maximum mark. And these are related to the amount of courses that you have passed in that year, and also to the publication activity that you have achieved. Yeah, the study plan requirements for the PhD IT program are that you pass 25 credits overall. As we said, 2 are offered by the PhD schools. The other 3 courses should be technical courses. So each course is valued 5 credits. Okay, so 2 school courses and 3 technical courses, preferably offered by the PhD IT program. Okay, you can also choose external courses, but at most 1 can be counted in your study plan. You can follow how many you want, but only 1 can be considered in the study plan. Also, we allow for more than 40 hours of teaching with some specific rules. And if you want to make purchases or to go to conferences, so every time you need to pay from your personal budget, you have to use this fund, which bears my name, and it's related to the PhD course, so you can see contributi corsi dottorato, and it has my name and the year. So in 2023, we will be given another fund name, another fund to take the money from. Everything that you do, so if you want to go on a mission or you want to buy equipment, has to be approved by the coordinator. Okay, so you make a request, the request comes to me, I have to evaluate it and approve it. And then it goes to the administration where they make an administrative check. Okay, so if the request is correct, otherwise they will bounce it back and you have to correct it. Where to find information, we already commented about that. I want to say also that there are some services that you can exploit. So software licenses given by the Politecnico. Be sure to check that because there's a lot of software that you can get. The PhD IT program also supports other services like business card requests, subscriptions to professional associations, language courses organized by Polimi. They don't cost much, but they are supported by the program. And also we give personal fund increases for summer and winter schools, for periods of stay abroad, and also for top-level publications. And finally, I would like to stress that in a few weeks, we will have a big event here, which is called the Colloquia Doctoralia, which is actually an event where, that we have annually, where the PhD students that are finishing their PhD present their work towards an audience that has people from companies, from industry, and I think it's a very nice moment where you see where what the PhD achievements can go to, and what is the impact of the research that we are doing. And we will also have some convivial moments in that. So there will be a dinner with all PhD students, so that will be a nice moment. So I invite you all from now to be part of this event. Okay, so save the date, November 25. That's all for me, and I think I will leave the floor to Pierluca for the DADS PhD program.
So hi, I'm here to present the PhD program in Data Analytics and Decision Sciences, which was established in 2018. So we are very young, actually not as young as Andrea, but we are young. So for everybody who needs information and needs to interact with the PhD program with DADS, basically there is Mauro, which also works for the IT part, and that's the email, or it's me. So generally speaking, our mission is, if you think about what is data science, is actually something that is overlapping with several disciplines. So in this way, you can say, so, but also IT people and bio people and other people, they do data science. So what is our mission? So in our mission is intrinsically to be interdisciplinary. So the idea is to have, that we want to have both data analysts in the sense that in the more computer science, computer engineering, and bioengineering sense, and also, but from the management point of view. And so, generally speaking, we are quite applicative as an application-oriented PhD program, and several of our students, well, our target is to create people and form people to go outside and work as in companies and other institutions. The idea is to make our candidates to acquire a broad competence in the field of data analytics. And this comes out from the fact that we are not, we are basically formed by three main departments. It's a cooperation from the mathematical engineering department, from the management department, and from DEIB. So that's why. And so our work environment is actually highly interdisciplinary, and actually we force this interdisciplinary idea on our PhD students. As I said, we are, let's say, a conglomerate of four entities. There is DEIB, which is hosting us, and actually is also the place where all the, let's say, that also manages actually manage the PhD program. So, for instance, if you have to go to travel, if you want to buy stuff, you are interfacing yourself with this department. But at the same time, we have a part of us that is from the Dipartimento di Matematica, so the mathematical engineering, and the management, School of Management. And also, we have a tight relation with the Health Data Science Center at Human Technopole, which provides several of the scholarship so far, and actually it also provides interdisciplinary environment with data, with expertise that comes outside from our own expertise. And this is our board, which is quite small. It's actually 16 people. It's from, 8 from DEIB, 4 from the mathematical department, 8 from the management school, and 1 from Emanuele from the Health Data Science Center. He's the head of the Health Data Science Center. And as I said, we are actually very interested in, our goal is to be interdisciplinary in the sense that our board comes out from all these fields. With respect to other PhD programs, we want to, let's say, enforce and want to push our being interdisciplinary in a way that is, let's say, implemented also in the PhD courses that our students can attend. So in the first, well, as many other PhD courses, programs, every student has to earn 30 credits. But actually, the candidates that are attending the DADS, they actually have to complete the 3 characterizing courses by the end of the first year. And these 3 characterizing courses are one from the IT school, so from this school, from this department, one from the mathematical department, and one from management. So the idea is that in the first year, our candidates we expect our candidates to be well, first of all, to meet all the other candidates, and also to, in a way, to learn something outside. So, for instance, I'm a computer scientist, computer engineering. My view of data science is always being biased toward my idea. So, algorithms, performance, and machine learning or stuff like this. Mathematical engineering students, candidates, PhD candidates are kind of different perspective, and management school, they have still another perspective. So, that's our idea. And as usual, 10 credits must be obtained through the soft and transferable skill courses organized by the PhD school, okay, which are the main one. And so, for instance, there is no animation, so I will tell you that at the bottom, the course this year are Analytics for Society, Interpretability and Explainability, Machine Learning, Statistical Inference for Information Age. So the first one is from the management school, the second is from the DEIB, and the third one is from the mathematical department. And obviously, if you are from an IT school, you are very welcome to attend these courses. As a researcher, what we typically have is that we expect our candidates to do interdisciplinary research. So, for instance, and this is implemented by the fact that you don't have one supervisor, but you have 2 supervisors, and that's mandatory. One from the department, one from the department that is basically the building blocks of our program, so either mathematics, DEIB, or the management school, and one from any other institution you want. So for instance, several of our students come, they do their PhD with companies or with a research center, so typically the second one is from a research center or the company, etc. And as usual, for every PhD student, the tutor must be from the PhD board. Okay, and the idea is that the PhD also thesis must represent a significant, it's obvious, but it's better to say that the PhD thesis must represent a significant advance in the field of data science. Okay, and that's, so just to give you an idea of our first, as I said, we are young, not as young as them, as Andrea, but this year we graduated the first four PhDs. And so Fabio did a thesis on data integration and analysis in heterogeneous environments. So it's more, let's say, IT related. Michela did something related to healthcare. So patient representation from complex biological system for precision medicines. And then Francesco Pieri actually did a characterization of detection of disinformation spreading. And somehow it started with, obviously, political disinformation, but then pandemic broke out, and then actually his thesis was on the misinformation during the pandemic. And Agostino is data analytics for impact measurement, and so it's more management school oriented. What is interesting is that, as you see, half of them, they came back to the DEIB, and they tried to do the postdoc here, and half of them are actually outside in companies or research center, which is actually our main goal in this case. Okay? If you are attending the deadlines are more or less the same for all the programs at DEIB, so we are typically have the deadlines, let's say, aligned. All the information is typically available on our website, and the deadlines, they're the link to the deadlines, the rules of regulation, but actually this is the idea of the deadline. So typically, if you are a PhD student, you started on November 2nd, hopefully. By December, you need to have a tutor and the advisors, that are two, and a study plan. On April, we expect you to have the research topic, and in September, October, you have the admission to the second year. Now, one of the things that has happened over the years is that you're starting today, and probably is, what the expectation from PhD program to PhD program might change. This is my view. Actually, it's shared with our, let's say, board. The idea is that what a PhD student should have been completed during the first year. So somehow people think about, sure, I need to publish or perish a lot. But actually, we don't really expect this, because actually, if you start brand new and you start, for instance, to work with the Health Data Science Center from Human Technopole or another company, then it's really difficult for you to become operative in the first year. So what we expect, surely, to complete the 3 mandatory characterizing courses. Complete is better, if possible, complete also the credits for the soft and transferable skill courses, because they are very interesting. For instance, there is a course on research, organizing your research. Actually, to do a course on organizing your research at the end of the second year is actually kind of against the goal. And then you should actually at least be able to identify the challenges you wish to tackle to become knowledgeable about the state of the art in your area. So for instance, we have students, if you meet our students, they are completely different application area. And somehow they did need to become really highly knowledgeable in that specific area. So what happened was that, for instance, that's what we expect in the first year. And what is interesting in the first year, also at least to know where you should publish at the end of the year. So if you do healthcare in some, healthcare analytics in some area, at least to know what should be your goal, and not to say, I don't even know what are the deadlines. So for instance, one of my students from the IT PhD, 1 year, she didn't publish nothing because she didn't check out the deadlines for some of the conferences where they was needed. So it basically means you jump out an entire year, and that's very bad. You just need to be aware of that. So we don't expect students to publish. We expect students to be aware of where they want to publish next. That's it. And that's Andrea, the newer one.
All right, so thank you. There's not so many step changers here, but I guess some are connected online. Actually, we are the newest and the smallest PhD program. We just started, so this is our first year, and that's the reason why you will see there's not much I can tell you in terms of rules, strategies, because that's an ongoing process of discussion within the PhD faculty board. So forget about this long text. I just want you to tell you what's the idea behind this new program. And actually, the idea is the following one. I guess you all know that the world is changing. So we are transitioning in many, many domains, from energy, climate, food production, and so on and so forth. And there are many universities in Italy and abroad which launched this kind of interdepartmental program looking at global change. There's a program in Bologna with a focus on natural science. There's a program in Venice, more on economics. So in Politecnico, we decided it was the right time to start with a program focusing on technology, but not just technology in terms of technological development, but technology in terms of planning and designing new policy, new instrument, which should allow us for a more sustainable transformation and transition. And of course, in order to do that, now forget all these topics, but in order to do that, you need a lot of discipline and expertise which are somehow spread all over the department in Politecnico. And indeed, step change is involving all but one, the departments in Politecnico, 11 departments. It's a very large program. There are two main, institutions in it. One is the coordinator, myself, and then there is a faculty board, which for the moment is only involving faculty staff, but will soon involve also representatives from the PhD students. And this is a list, as you can see. I just want you to not, of course, go through all the names. You can see they're coming from all the departments. Most of them are from DEIB, which is the hosting department. And these are the scientific disciplinary sector we cover, which are many, ranging from ICT to chemistry to management, energy, mechanical and aerospace engineering to design, architecture, and environmental civil engineering. The expected deadline are more or less the same as the other program. The only thing I want to outline is that actually the next step will be to select an advisor. More or less everyone of the student has already done it, and a tutor. We have just a small request, which is try to keep tutor, which has to be selected from the board, and the advisor from two different departments in order to have at least some diversity. Then there will be a kind of a very short description of the main research, the one that will end up with the thesis, and this is supposed to come in April. And then there is the regular annual evaluation at the end of each year. The final thesis has to go to two external referees, and then the final evaluation board will be composed by an internal member and two external referees. Now, in terms of study plan requirement, we try, in order to foster multidisciplinary activity behind just the direct training, we try to keep the number of credits required the lowest as possible. So there are 20 credits to be done in the first 2 years, 10 have to be selected in the PhD school curriculum, so they have to be this soft and transferable skill course, and 10 are more technical course offered by our program, and that can also be taken from other PhD programs depending on your specialty and focus in the PhD. Of course, we may decide as a board to assign extra course credits. You feel free to participate in summer school or external courses. You can also add them to your study plan, even if they are not directly accounted for the credits that would be considered for the final evaluation. And here, like in the other program, we have a stronger, tendency to push you to go at least 6 months abroad, for which you have also an increase in your monthly scholarship, and more or less all the advisor have funds on the research fund that can be used to support you somehow. So this is a list of the courses which are suggested in the pool of those offered by the PhD school, so the so-called soft skill and transferable courses. This is the list of the technical course. You see, for the moment, we have only one course offered in step change, which will be in the next spring, but we are designing and planning new courses that should be available next year. So, like Professor Pierotti was mentioning before, don't consider this list as the list from which you have to take all the 20 credits. You can also wait for the next year offer. Now, what you see here is all tentative, so it's my personal taken of what we should do, and is highly inspired from the IT PhD. However, there will be an annual evaluation, which will be on a scale of good, some attention has to be taken, so there are some criticality that have to be fixed, or there are some major criticality for which the evaluation board will interact with tutor and advisor. The final exam has a specific grading, and the requirements, these are very tentative. We still have to vote and discuss them in the PhD faculty board, are more or less similar to the other PhD programs. So half of the credits to be accomplished in the first year, all the credits to be finalized by the second year, and then in terms of publication, this will be highly different depending on where you are based in terms of department. That's why I'm saying tentative. Say for those at DEIB, we do expect to be aligned with the PhD in IT. So we do expect to have one paper published or submitted at a conference and then move on with journal from the second year on. Anyway, it's very likely that probably a requirement will slightly change from one department to the other. And yeah, that's it in terms of organization. You are allowed to do teaching following the same rules as the IT program. And in terms of funds, you will see that you have your own funds that you can spend, as suggested before by Professor Pirardi, mostly for conference or to support your period abroad, for which, however, you have an additional fund, which is increasing by 50% your scholarship. And I say before, most of the research group have their own funds that come from all the large list of H2020 project and other projects that Dr. Conti has been showing you before. And so there may be a number of opportunities to travel, participate in summer school, and also in conference. That's it. I forgot to put a picture of Alessandro, but Alessandro is our reference in the secretary, so any doubt or whatever, so he's in person, that's why I didn't put a picture of him. Thank you. Okay, there's...
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Gabriele Dubini. I'm the coordinator of the PhD program in bioengineering. For your information, by education, I am a mechanical engineer, and I got my PhD in bioengineering at in this Politecnico di Milano. As you can see here, the PhD program in biomedical engineering is based at the Department of Electronic Information and Bioengineering, DEIB, but it also has a part and a number of professors in another department, which is the Department of Chemistry, Materials, and Chemical Engineering. Giulio Natta is the department in front of the Rector House in Leonardo campus. The acronym is CMIC. These are the members of the PhD board in bioengineering, and well, I'm not going to read all the names, of course, but you can see that about half are based in the chemistry department, and the rest is based here in the department of the DEIB, with one exception in the Department of Design, which is in Bovisa, by the way. I have two vice coordinators, Professor Monica Soncini, she is a professor in this department, and Professor Sara Mantero, and she is a professor in the Department of Chemistry, Materials, and Chemical Engineering. Let me just mention here the names of the student delegates, Andrea Farabi and Stefano Robbiani, who could be of help to you, especially at the beginning of your experience in the PhD program in bioengineering. The secretariat is Mr. Marco Simonini, who is in the rear part of this room, and he is available at these two emails, phdbo@polyme.it and marco.simonini@polyme.it. This is just a picture to give you an idea of let's say, of the formal requirements along your career here in this PhD program. Well, you can see the 3 years, and you can see that in green there is the report preparation, which is expected to be for the first year next August, for the second year mid of May, let's say, the second year, and the third report, it will be in May in the third year. They correspond to the evaluations along your program. You'll have a yearly evaluation in the first year, a midterm evaluation a bit earlier in the second year, and then there will be, in June, in the third year, there will be the admission, the exam, the evaluation for the admission to the final exam, which will take place later in the third year. You can see it's the difesa finale is Italian, but the yellow cell in the third year, at the end of the third year, roughly, typically in December after the end of the third year. The number of credits you are expected to gain is similar to the previous PhD program. There are some small differences. In our program, you are expected to gain at least 10 credits from the courses organized by the PhD school, and these are courses about soft and transferable skills, and they are quite open to subjects which are not related exactly to the bioengineering standard bioengineering topics. At least 15 credits come from the courses, the specific courses offered in our PhD program in bioengineering. They are called characterizing courses. And another requirement you'll have will be to attend one of the yearly schools organized by the Italian National Group of Bioengineers, and they are organized in Bressanone e Brixen, northeast of Italy, in the middle of the mountains. Okay, very nice place, nice food, nice wine. This is just a slide on this school. Typically it takes place in September, and these are pictures when the weather is very nice, very mild. And it is a 1 week, sorry, 5 days school on a specific program. The program is chosen by the National Group of Bioengineers, Italian National Group of Bioengineers, and all let's say the 4 or 5 days are typically 4, are focused on this subject with the teachers, instructors coming from all the other Italian universities where you can find bioengineering programs and from abroad. So it is a very specialized schools with a number of opportunities also to socialize, let's say. The school is organized so that you can meet the other students from other universities in Italy. PhD students in bioengineering, of course. And I think this is the last one with this nice promise. Thank you for your attention.
So thank you all for attending this welcome meeting. Let me add my personal wishes to all of you to have a nice time while doing your PhD. Don't forget that we have an aperitif served in the gazebo just outside here. So Marco Simonini will give you indications for how to reach. It's just outside, okay? And we'll